Hello, I'm Sophie from Bee Bag Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make this lovely button and ring clasp for your crochet project. It's a cheap and easy design, and I think it's very attractive. So you get a ring I buy them from Amazon, and a simple button with the 4 holes, and I'll show you how you crochet around them, and just to add some colour to your project. So this is the ring I've got. Obviously you can use any size ring you like and any size button that fits the ring. I'll try and put the rings I ordered on Amazon, in my description. So with the yarn you're using for your project and the hook that suits the yarn, quite simply put your hook through the ring, grab the yarn, and then pull off the 2 loops. So it's a single crochet basically. Put your hook through, grab the yarn and pull off the 2 loops. I try and keep them relatively loose, it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is, as you go, you keep sliding them along, so you don't really want any of the metal ring to be showing. So I've nearly got to the end of the ring, and I'm just going to try and squeeze a few more single crochets. I've been pushing them along as I go. It's quite nice, this yarn I'm using. It's a mandala yarn, Lion brand, and it does start changing colour, which I love. So I think I can squeeze another couple in there. That's about it, I think. Okay, so when you feel they're all nice and close and the ring's totally covered, you find that first stitch that you did. Sometimes I have to squeeze it in a bit and just do a slip stitch. And pull the yarn through. And there's your slip stitch. Now I've actually chained one here, but I've missed it on the video. So you chain one and then single crochet into that first stitch that you'd slip stitched into, and then you single crochet along. So don't forget to do that chain one before your first single crochet. Sorry about that. So then you single crochet along your stitches. They're usually quite easy to fit your hook through. And I'm not giving you the number because it really depends on the size of your ring, obviously. So I'll show you in a minute. It's kind of just the sort of height, the width of your ring. You can see there. So it's really up to you. You might want a thinner strap, but you chain one at the end of the row and then single crochet into that first stitch and then just carry along, single crocheting on top of your single crochets. And you're basically going to do this as much as you want until you've reached your desired length. So it's basically single crochet all the way along, chain one and go back as long as you need. Okay, so get your yarn needle and just thread that, and I'll just show you where I like to sew in the end for just to hide it. If you look at this, that sort of first row of single crochet, I think that's quite a useful place to do it, and it's going to be hidden at the back of your work, so it doesn't really show. And I always do the safe, go through 3 times, and it makes it nice and secure. And then obviously just cut your yarn. There you go. So obviously just carry on, make the strap as long as you need for your project. I'll quickly show you how you attach it to your bag. I mean, in this case, I've got my flower power bag. You might want the button, say, in the middle of the flower there. And then you attach the strap, obviously, to the other side. And then fold it over. You might want the button at the top there. So, obviously, it depends on what project you're doing. You could either have a nice big button and then just sew that on to go through your loop. I had a button that I felt a bit too small for the project, which is when I came up with the idea of crocheting around the button to make it a bit bigger and just to make a fun design. So I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So before I show you how to make the button, I'm just going to quickly show you how to make the tassels for the clasp. I just wrap the yarn around the book. So it depends how long you want your tassels. And wrap it around as many times as you want, obviously how thick you want your tassel. Snip them off. And then you want to just find the middle point of your tassels and basically the middle point of your ring. So I just sort of, it's sort of rule of thumb really. I just work down, roughly mark that point, put your hook in to the single crochet at the bottom of that point, and get that middle point of your tassels, pop them through that single crochet. Oops, losing the loops. There we go. And then using your fingers, I just pop the tassels through that loop. And then you can pull them nice and tight. And then just trim them off to the desired length. I mean, you might want to put 2 or 3 tassels, add some beads. I mean, I guess you could crochet more stitches around the loop if you wanted. But there you go. So I've come up with an idea of how to make the button bigger. And the main thing is you need a hook that's small enough to go into the buttonhole. And I'm lucky I've got one of these booklets with lots of different hooks in, so I've picked one that's the largest one that still goes through the hole. I think this is 1.6 I found. And then you put your yarn onto it and basically go through the first hole, or any hole. Grab your yarn, which is a bit fiddly because the yarn's obviously far too large for the little hook, but it's worth persevering. And you basically do a single crochet, so you catch the yarn and take off 2 loops. As I said, it's quite difficult because the yarn's too big. Now go through the same hole. No, you don't yarn over. Go through the same hole and do exactly the same thing. Grab the yarn, pull it up and take off 2 loops. So you've just got to extend it. So it's an extended single crochet. And then do it 3 times. So do 3 single crochets in the first hole. Like I said, it is a bit fiddly, but it's worth persevering. There you go. Now to get to the next hole, I chain 2. And then do exactly the same in the next hole and all the holes going round. But don't forget to do the chain 2 between each hole. Okay, so you've done your 3 elongated single crochets in every hole with your chain 2, and it's your last chain 2. And now you're going to find that very first stitch, pop your hook in there and do your slip stitch, and then your chain 1, and then in your next few stitches you're going to do a single crochet until you get to that chain 2. So just do that single crochet in every stitch until you get to the chain 2. Now in the chain 2 you're going to do 2 single crochets. Just go under the chain and do the 2 single crochets, and then that next set of stitches do a single crochet in every stitch, and continue all the way around. So single crochet in every stitch and 2 single crochets in each chain 2. Right, so you've done your last 2 single crochets around the chain and you join with a slip stitch. So cut your yarn and pull the yarn through, and now you need to get your yarning needle to your back of your work, and there's your front. And get your yarning needle and what we need to do is thread the needle and then get the yarn to the back of your work. Now I think the best way to do this is to actually just go into the next stitch along. There you go. And just pull the yarn through, turn your work over and actually go into the back of those single crochets and do your magic 3 times to make sure it's nice and secure before you cut it. Cut the tail now. Okay. Now as you can see, the button's a lot larger, and I think that's going to make it more secure to hold your bag together. If you had enough yarn, you could actually use that for sewing a button onto your bag, but if you do, just pull it to the middle of your work and then use that same bit of yarn, or else just attach a new piece to sew it on. But there you go. I think it's quite a nice addition to the bag, and it's a cheap and beautiful way to make your bag secure